Hello, this is the Patricia Show, and today I want to get right on in teaching about infinite mind. Each soul must discover for him or herself that he or she lives in the midst of an eternal creative power. You must awaken to the realization that there is only one mind, and this mind is the universal mind, which I call infinite mind because it's no beginning and it's no ending. Now, you may think that you have an individual mind, like you have a mind, your own mind, and then I have my own mind, your daughter have her own mind, or your mother have her own mind. No, it is not like that. There is one mind which lies within us, and everybody uses that one mind. And that one mind is really an eternal creative force. It only knows to create. It lies within you and all around you. It's that creative power just surrounds you. And again, it is the mind of God, which is, you can call it universal mind or infinite mind, but it is God's mind. So some of you may have heard this before, but some of you may not, because unfortunately they're not teaching this in the churches where you should be learning this. This information that I'm going to be teaching you is about your I am self. So this is not a religious course or anything. This is about you being able to understand your mighty I am, so you are able to tap the power within you so that you can create the life that you want, okay? Now, Jesus always talked about thou Father, thou's in heaven, but we never talk about the Father, or they don't ever teach you about the Father in the church. A friend of mine is Catholic, and I was asking her one day, like, do you know that there's a Father, the mighty I am? And she said, sure, I do, but I don't know anything about him, because she said the churches don't teach about I am that I am. The churches only teach about this, Jesus. And I thought, don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would they not teach about the Father? And Jesus talked about him often. So that power that lies within you is the mighty I am that I am. So that's what we're going to talk about, so that you can understand how to tap it, how it works, and then you can understand how to create the life that you want. Now, it states in the Bible, in the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of God. This is the King James Version, Genesis 1, verse 1 through 4. So this is basically telling you that your words are powerful. If you say a word with thought, feelings, and belief, it is powerful. So when I say word, I'm also talking about your thoughts as well, because what you put your attention on is what you create. And so your word have creative power. Your word is powerful. So when people say, oh, I don't have enough to buy that dress, I really want to buy that car and I don't have enough. What happens is that what your word is powerful. So what's happening is that when you say there's never enough, because what you're saying is there's never enough to buy the things that I want, what ends up happening in your life? You get more of that, more lack, because that's what you're creating. You're saying there's never enough, and that's a lack. But if you say, if you focus on the abundance in your life and you focus on the wealth in your life, that's what you'll get, that wealth and that abundance. When you focus on the lack, you get more lack. There's an old saying that the rich get richer and the poor gets poorer. And that's true, because poor people always keep your mind on what? There's never enough. And rich people keep your mind on what? There's an abundance. And so there we go with the power of power of the word. We prove it every day in our life, but we don't pay any attention because we never been really taught it. And so we don't pay any attention what's really going on, how we are creating the lack in our life. Not God, it is you. Because what you're saying, when you put your attention on, there's never enough. What you're saying is, mighty infinite mind within me, give me more of that. There's never enough, because that's what you're focusing on, and that is what your word is on, which is, the thought. And so you're saying, give me more of that. And so when a rich person says, oh, there's an abundance, abundance is everywhere. What is this saying? Infinite mind, mighty I am, give me more abundance. Do you understand that? What you place your attention on is what you're asking God to give you more of. So your word is powerful. And when you say, I have lack, that's what you have. That's what you're going to continue having, is lack and more lack. If you say, I am a wealth and I have abundance, that's what you're going to have. Now, you might say, Patricia, I don't say that I won't lack. Yes, you do. Because if you can go shopping with your friend and you could say, oh, I want to get that dress, but I don't have enough. What are you saying there? You're identifying yourself with lack. And when you identify yourself with lack, what is that saying? Give me more lack. Do you understand that? When you when you go shopping, and let's say you go to a store for rich people, and you really can't afford anything in there at that particular time, but you go in there and you start looking at all this expensive stuff, and then you tell yourself, well, I think I'm going to come and get that in a couple of months. I'm going to come and get that. First of all, you're programming your mind away from the lack, so that's a good thing to do, to go to wealthy stores that have very expensive items, and then tell yourself or imagine that item in your home. Okay, so you're preparing your mind for this. You're expanding your mind away from the lack and you're into abundance. Okay, but when you go to the store, if you constantly do this on a constant basis, what are you doing? You're telling the universe. You go in the store, you say, oh, that's a beautiful rug for $10,000. I think I'm going to come back and get it for my bedroom. So you're preparing your mind, expanding your mind for wealth, but you're also telling that infinite mind, I can afford this. I want more of this. More of what? Of the expensive rugs, of the expensive items in this store. That's really what you're saying. So you go through the store and you say, oh, okay, so here is a couch, and this couch costs $5,000. And I think I'm going to come back and get that in like 6 months. What are you doing? You're telling the universe, okay, in 6 months, I want this expensive stuff in my home. You see what I'm saying? You've changed your perception and the way you're viewing things in your life. You're moving away from the lack and into abundance thinking. And that's what is going to keep drawing those things to you. Okay, so for some reason, I can't make my videos too long. I made another one for you all about infinite mind, and it cut off right at 11 minutes. It wouldn't let me download it. So I'm going to stop this one and just mark this one as part 1, and then I might have to do a few more on infinite mind. Okay, so thank you for tuning in to The Patricia Show. And this is part 1 of Infinite Mind.